Hemp Wizard products are proudly used by former New England Patriots linebacker Brandon Spikes, Suicide Silence guitarist Mark Haleman, Canadian actor Jackson Rowe, Mr. Grimm and Noctis the drummers of Walking Corpse Syndrome, guitarist and vocalist Bub Easton and bassist Ted Wilson of Black Sasquatch, guitarist and vocalist Adam Hines of Fester, Aaron Witzel, guitarist of Cropsy Maniac, Roy Boy, host of the Licking County Metalheads podcast, Crash Fist Fight and Maxine Maxwell, host of the Musicians Hangout podcast, Jeff Towlinski, host of the Hard Rockin' Sports Show, YouTube.
Good evening, and that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rockin' Sports Show, live from Higher Top Hard Rockin' Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your weekly 3-hour weekly get-together. We can bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday, February the 9th in the year of our Lord 2023, and we hope you've had a great week. It has been an exciting week here at the Hard Rockin' Sports Show. Why? I don't know. It's just always exciting around here. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight, folks, in the world of sports and music. We got Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting updates. Obviously, we got Super Bowl week. That's right. It's been Super Bowl week. Have you felt the buzz? Is there a buzz? We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about some of the most the record-setting amount of money being spent on betting this Super Bowl. According to sources, $16.8 billion at a minimum will be spent this year on the Super Bowl betting. That's an astronomical amount of money. And again, it's easy. For years, you had to know the local bookie, and you go calling one bet. You ain't calling all the props. Now you can sit home. You can put in tons of bets through one of the sites, whether it's mybookie.ag or FanDuel or DraftKings, and you can bet your heart away on just about everything there is. We'll talk about some of those prop bets tonight. We'll talk about the disaster that is the Brooklyn Nets. Right, that's right. First, Kyrie Irving says was disrespected and wasn't appreciated. He bolted out the door, traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And then the shocking news that in the middle of the night last night, Kevin Durant traded by the New Jersey Nets to the Phoenix Suns. Boy, I tell you, it's been a remarkable 3.5 years for the Nets, and not in a good way. What was supposed to be a dynasty has turned into a disaster. So we're going to get to talk about that tonight. Besides the Super Bowl game, we have the Hall of Fame announcement tonight. I expect 2 Jets to get in tonight. And if there's not 2 Jets getting in the Hall of Fame, it is a travesty. Darrelle Revis, I believe, is in his first year of eligibility. And whether you like the Jets or you thought Darrelle Revis was an asshole, which he probably was, during his playing days, you couldn't have found during his era a better corner. And I would tell you, if I was picking between him and Deion Sanders, who most people seem to think is the greatest cover corner of all time, I would take Darrelle Revis twice before I even thought about taking Deion Sanders, because Darrelle Revis was a complete corner. I won't say he was the greatest tackler I ever saw, the best hitter I ever saw, but he stuck his head in there, and he was a great cover guy, and to the point where it was Revis Island. And the other Jet who's up and should have been in a long time ago was Joe Klecko, one of the most dominant all-around defensive players of his era, only overshadowed by the personality and celebrity of Mark Gastineau. But clearly, Klecko was the best player on that team, and a guy who went to the Pro Bowl at 3 different defensive lineman positions. Should be hands down going in. So we'll get to talk about Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. There's rumors running around that the NFL is rigged and the game is mapped out, kind of like the WWE, WWF. We'll get your guys' opinion on that. So lots to get to, lots to talk about. Only one way to really get the show. Yes, I agree with you, Michael, and welcome to the show, is by getting on my partner in crime, the sexiest man on his side of the screen, and the living legend in his own mind, Mr. Jeff Sauce Towinski. Sauce?
All of the kind words.
Yep.
For 2 New York Jets that will be dominating this year's.
I hope so.
Into the Hall of Fame. Because you're getting ready to make the switch over from the blue side to the green side.
No. I see, unlike you, I call it as I see it legitimately. And when I see two guys, and listen, I hated Darrelle Revis. I think he was an asshole. I think he played the system. I think ultimately he kind of screwed the Jets, but taking away everything off the field and how he acted and all the stuff that goes with it, Darrelle Revis was the best corner I think I've ever seen play all around, Jeff. And it would be
ever play in the NFL.
It's hard to say that. I mean, there were some great ones, but in my time, I have a hard time thinking of a guy who's better than that guy. That guy was legitimately Revis Island. Whether he was that good or people so intimidated just didn't throw his way, I don't really care. Nobody caught passes on Darrelle Revis.
That's right, because he's the best.
Again, I'm not going that far, but also Joe Klecko, and I think it's long overdue for Joey. I mean, easily the best player in that team, but overshadowed, like I said, Jeff. But well deserving of the honor of Hall of Fame, and I can't believe it's taken this long. And again, no lock for him to get in tonight. I think it would be an absolute travesty if he does not get in.
I agree, but whether he's in or not, that just shows the mindset of the Hall of Fames.
I agree. It's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jeff. Yes, I agree. It's the best. I love to see guys who deserve going in. And to me, it's the same for a band. It's the same for a lot of things for me and me only when I say this. To me, when somebody says that guy Hall of Famer, if you have to think about it, he's probably not a Hall of Famer. If you have to go, well, let me, to me, guys are Hall of Fame. That's who should be in the Hall of Fame. Guys, you go, I saw that guy, but he was the best. He was the best of his era. Those two guys, I won't say Klecko was the best of his era. I mean, that's an era with guys like Mean Joe Green, Too Tall Jones, so many great players of that era. But Joe Klecko, he was top 5 in my book. Definitely top 5.
Hard to disagree.
Yep. So we got a lot to talk about, Jeff. But let's get the show off start off like we do every week, and I'll ask you the magic question, Jeff. How was your week?
All right.
That's it.
All right. At long week as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't even say it's not almost over. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Oh, so you're working on your days. You're working on your days off again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that by force or by?
Well, not necessarily by force. I mean, it benefits me.
Okay.
So that's fine with me to work that day off.
Sure.
But I'm just getting tired of doing it. That's all.
No, listen, I get it. I've been there. I've spent too much of my life. I've gotten a little bit of a break the last few years, not having to work too many weekends and not having to work too many late nights. It happens occasionally, but. I'm been much luckier that way over the last few years than in years past. So, but again, happy to have you here tonight. I won't. We'll stay as long as you feel up to it. We do have a lot to talk about. So, but we'll get into it nice and slowly and easily. I want to get my dad on real soon, but first off, let me start by saying this, Jeff. You look spectacular tonight. You looked, I don't think I've ever seen you look better. And I bet you it's because you're using the Sunday Audible fragrance and beard care product specifically put out by our friends at Hemp Wizard Beard Care Company.
I'm trying to see where I have my stuff hidden because I got a roll top desk that I'm working off of now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and I have all of these little cubbies and shells and stuff.
Okay.
And I actually had to put some battery-operated Christmas lights.
Okay.
Underneath the roll top.
Gotcha.
So that I could light up the desk. I mean, of course, you can't see it because the lights are behind there.
Gotcha.
But I can't find my stuff now because I don't know where I put it.
I think off the top of head, you could tell us all about Cushman's and the Sunday Audible beard care products. and all the wonderful things down at the guys at Hemp Wizard.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with those guys at this point in time.
Oh, man. They're huge.
A lot. They're very, very busy. And they're going to have us on soon.
Oh, yeah?
I would have to ask Mike. Mike, what is it? We're doing a review or something?
Oh, where are we doing a review for his stuff?
We're going to be doing it live, I think, on Instagram or something like that.
That would have to be you. I can't really give proper. I'll be happy to do a commercial for it, but to do live, it would have to be you.
Going to need you there.
All right, listen, I'm for you and for the boys at Hemp Wizard. Anything I can possibly do.
Stand behind these guys, man.
100%.
Good, solid guys.
Yep.
Good, solid product. It's you can't ask for much better. Most places, when you buy something from a dealer, a seller, they tell you like, okay, here's the tracking number or whatever. Mike didn't give me a tracking number. He kept the tracking number because he kept tracking the package and kept letting me know when it was coming and giving me updates. And listen, when somebody cares that much that they're making sure that their product gets there, those are the kind of people that you want to do business with.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? For them, they're making sure they're giving you a quality product that's worth the money. Then they're taking care of everything that they're doing to make you as the customer feel comfortable and know that you're not just dealing with a fly-by-night operation. And these guys, they're just cool people. I'm happy to call them friends. And I see pictures of Mike rolling around as the Hemp Wizard, or is the Hemp Wizard actually Mike? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. We'll have to dig into that when they interview us.
I need to know. Like one question I got to ask is, what's up, man?
What's up, Adam Hines?
What happens now that there's less phone booths around? How does this transformation?
I have to be honest with you. I don't believe the Hemp Wizard himself is getting changed or materializing from a old phone booth. The phone booth looks a little on the small side. Maybe I think it's more likely from a puff of smoke.
Yeah,
literally. So listen, guys. No matter what your style is, if you got a family member, a friend for yourself, and you got yourself a nice beard like Jeff, this product here, the Sunday Audible, and their entire line of beard care products. Well, I gotta tell you, it's nothing but the best. If you look at Jeff, I go to Jeff's house and I spend the whole time just rubbing the beard. I gotta put my hands on it. It's just so silky and soft, and it smells great. And I know people think it's weird when his wife looks at us like we're crazy because I sit there the whole time and I'm just rubbing the beard.
It's not just the wife that thinks it's weird.
Oh, Jeff thinks it's weird.
I'm there thinking like, this is weird.
Hey, Adam's got us on two different things. Thanks, Adam. We love it. Thank you very much. Our boy Adam from Fester. Thank you so much. But beside that, folks, if you're
these guys, I don't mean to cut you off, Tom, but these guys on Thursday nights, between the guys in Black Sasquatch, Fester, Adam Hines, Mike, they spend every Thursday night with us supporting us. Man. Thank you guys, man. It's much appreciated. Please, thank you.
Yep, we feel the same. We do feel that way, and thanks to there's a lot of people. Carrie Boyce, there's so many people that hit me up during and after the show. Paul D'Agostino, so many people hit us up and let me know that they're watching and listening and all that great stuff. And it's a lot more fun, even beyond what we do normally when we know you guys are all out there hanging with us and commenting. And hopefully one of these days the show will grow to a point where we can kind of talk to people again live. So. Lots of good stuff, but just to finish up the Hemp Wizard guys, listen. Even if you don't have somebody in your family who has a great beard like Jeff, or they're starting out with one like I am right now, skincare products. Again, my wife loves, the strawberry switchblade. They have so many great products. Skincare, beard care. Please do us a favor. Small businesses, but these guys, not only are they great guys, like Jeff said. They make a great product. Don't go by us. Their endorsements are everywhere, and they do a lot of great stuff for vets. And in fact, Mike himself is a vet, and all sorts of charities. So thank you, Mike. Thank you to Joe and the boys over there. And please, guys, hempwizard.net for some great stuff. Sunday Audible. Jeff, I had to making this up, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and I have an announcement to make myself. Another Ramoron show.
Oh, go ahead. When is that now?
And that will be on March 25th at Big Nose Kate's.
Okay.
On Staten Island with the John Collins band.
Okay.
And
wait, who's going on first? The Remorons or John Collins band?
The Remorons.
It's a smart move, my friend.
The Remorons. And announcing their return will be 25 Missions.
At the same show?
At the same show, yes.
Wow.
So a little something special happening in March.
Wow, you got a busy night.
The week before that, March 18th at Lily Reds. And then in April 29th at Mother Pugs.
Very nice. Wow.
Some stuff going on. And then a couple of weeks ago, you asked me about something we never got a chance to talk about. We're going to have to discuss that and see what plans you have. And
well, I have no plans, and I know you're busy, so we can shelve that whole thing. I know you're a busy man, so
let's see what's going on, man.
I have nothing other than to say, I just thought it might be some point in the springtime. Be nice to get a little outing and get a few bands together and just show up and we'll pass the hat and collect some money for a good cause.
Let's talk first. Let's not shelf nothing. Let's see what goes on.
All right, we'll get together soon and we'll figure something out.
In the area, maybe we could get more than one person. Maybe Wiz walk by. Who knows?
Yeah, it's very possible. And I did not see that the new Fester album is out. I apologize. Maybe Adam could send us some info. We'll put it up on the website. We'll put it up on the social media, and we'll of course love to play some stuff. I know we played some festivals. Up there's Lou Pika checking in. What's up, Louis Peak?
What's up, Lou Pika? How are you?
We got everybody stopping by tonight, Jeff.
It's good. This is like a party, a coming out party.
No, it's with the Hard Rocket Sports Show is turning into the social. What is it? The
big social for a Thursday night.
Yeah, everybody kind of stops by. It's kind of online. Everybody checks in with each other. They listen to what we got to say. And it's a nice thing to see everybody popping up here. And again, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the Hard Rocket Sports Show. Jeff Towinski, Tom Florio, and all of you hanging out here on a Thursday night. Super Bowl Sunday. Jeff, is there a buzz about this game? Because I got to be honest with you. I feel no buzz whatsoever.
No.
At least in this area.
I agree. I look at ESPN every day. NFL.com every day. I've seen just as much news on the Jets, whose season is over, than I have worthwhile of the Super Bowl. Real quick, I have the top headlines on ESPN right now. Real quick, Clippers get Gordon. Sauce Warriors deal Weissman. Mike, you've been traded. Lakers send Bryant to Nuggets. Rangers acquiring winger Tarasenko. Bucks acquire Crowder. Kobe MVP jersey from 07-08 sells for over $5.8 million. Strong decides to leave Hurricanes over DC snub. And Ronaldo scores 4 past his 500 league goals mark. The only mention of the Super Bowl is the last one, Barnwell's Super Bowl preview and pick, which is ESPN Plus, which you have to pay for.
Yep.
And this is the biggest sporting event of the year.
Yeah.
And you have to pay to get information. If you go over, just real quick, if you go over to the NFL.com, the headlines aren't that much better. NFL on its picks, analysts vote on 8 major awards. I see 1, 2. Okay, there's a couple articles here.
That's the NFL.com. Of course, it should be.
But the most of it is other happenings in the league.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how is this one flying under the radar.
I don't know. I mean, look,
seeds in the NFL, one in the NFC, one in the AFC.
Yeah, it's the number one. Yeah,
and there's nothing happening.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. It's Kansas City and Philly. So if you're in the New York area, you're probably a Giant fan or a Jet fan. You're not loving Philly. You don't have Philly fans. I don't. Here's the big thing. There's no storyline. There's just no major storyline. I want to get my dad on real quick, but I was watching. The Tuesday night is usually the opening night of the NFL week, the Tuesday of that week. And all weekend, I kept saying to myself, okay, I look forward to that night. I watch it. They have different things. They have different ways to open it. They usually have bands and they have a big media thing. So this year they were having a bunch of the players on stage with 3 different people asking questions. And all I kept saying was, I just hope that very early on, I don't have to listen to somebody ask the question, hey guys, how's it feel to have two black quarterbacks playing in this game? And I was just praying, Jeff, Sal Paolantonio, who I kind of like, I think he does a good job normally. He's the first guy to ask a question. And I have to tell you something, my friend. It was the first question he asked Patrick Mahomes. And I think Jalen Hurts, I think they're both on stage. He said, guys, how does it feel to be playing a game where it's the first time with two African-American quarterbacks are starting in the game? And I said, why is that important to this game? I mean, at this point in time in life, don't we want this to just be normal that two guys are playing quarterback?
No. First of all, if it doesn't have a label, it can't be worth. It can't be. It can't be. You need a label. You have to have a label, especially when it comes to race. The only other label that's more important than that right now is what sexual orientation you are. It's unbelievable. Nothing could be done unless there's a label.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It's unbelievable. When a white guy gets accused of doing something, they'll just be, the 35-year-old suspect was caught with this. Black guy, 35-year-old black suspect was caught with this. You know, it's just, hello, Robert. How are you?
Robert Fidelli. Long time no see.
It's just unbelievable how they have to drag race into it.
I agree.
Whether you want it there or not, it's another story, but they will make sure that it gets there.
100%, guys. 100%, Jeff's right. But there's no buzz. So listen, guys, we got a lot. We're going to make a little buzz tonight. We got a lot to talk about. That Michael Irvin gets sent home for talking to a woman in a bar for 45 seconds. And for some reason, without touching the woman, he got sent home and somehow harassed or assaulted her. We'll find that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk in NFL honors tonight. We'll get some announcements on Hall of Fame. Should be Darrelle Revis and Klecko. I'm hoping for the Jets. Even though I'm not a Jet fan, those guys deserve to get in there. We'll get to definitely some Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And as a Knicks fan, I can't be happier that this whole debacle fell apart. We got a lot to get to. We're going to talk about the Grammys. Spring training's around the corner. Mickey Mouse. I got to get a little politics in there. I hope everybody took a chance to nap during the Mumbler in Chiefs fantasy on Tuesday night. That was always fun to see. And Ron DeSantis beats up on Mickey Mouse. So we got a lot to get to. Let's get my dad on, and then let's get right into the show. Jeff, you ready?
Yep.
What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? How you doing, both of you?
Good.
Hello, Jeff.
How are you?
I understand. I listened to what you were just talking about the two black guys, the quarterback. What's happening now is what the news media likes. They like to stir up the dish. A beautiful, clear, 80-degree day, nice sunny out, doesn't sell newspapers.
All right.
When you have a storm and they're wrecking and they're ripping houses out, this is what they like. But that's just my opinion of why they do it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't. When people say, "Hey, can't we all find a way to get together and be
Change
one?"
the channel.
I agree with it. Right, but the problem is they immediately want, like Jeff said, they immediately want to throw,
that's how they make their money.
It's all about separations. And to me, the two quarterbacks, I couldn't care less if they were white, black.
99.9 people feel the same way. Yeah. But because they go on air and they do it, they get away with it. And like I said, they like to stir the dirt to get it up.
Well, that's what it is right there, what you're saying. They can't let it remain calm. There always has to be an underlying something going on.
Yep.
And they might as well make it racial. That's a big thing, especially now with the cops that beat up that other guy.
Yep.
And they're trying to make it racial. Meanwhile, they were all black.
Well, they were disappointed. They were disappointed that they couldn't go after.
You had to have a couple of white. Well, one of the EMT workers was a white guy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he wasn't swinging punches. No,
he was taking.
Russell Wilson.
Love Frankie kind of like. You always got to get a Russell Wilson.
Everybody laughs at that, right? Like we're in the middle of something, we got to laugh because here he is, Russell Wilson.
I love Frankie.
I was talking. I was shocked today. I wasn't shocked, but it was that they got rid of Durant. They had to do it. He went out. They listen. They deserve it. What they get.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
were buying trying to buy a championship. And it's proven in years. If you go back 60, 80 years, the best teams, the best players in the world don't win games. the hungriest players win.
Yeah.
When the Knicks were winning back in the late 60s, early 70s, they never had anybody in the points, steals. The best they ever had was Walt Frazier for assist.
Yep.
That's the best they ever had. You never had rebounds and they all played in a team, and they may not have won every year, but they were in it and they kicked your butt.
Yep.
It made you know you played. Today, you got these three guys playing because all they're worried about is who's going to score the points.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with.
It's not even that. It's about who can get the bigger contract, and it's just listen.
Evidently, $37 million a year is not enough.
It was and to hear Kyrie Irving, I was disrespected. I wasn't appreciated. Dude, they paid you all that money, for a year.
They can spit on me for that kind of money. He
got paid a full salary to not play because he refused to get the vaccine, and I don't blame him for not getting it. But if you take the stance, then you got to take it. They paid him anyway.
Tommy, I disagree with you on that point. For the simple fact is, if you have people depending on you, and they're losing out on it, it pays. There's times you have to do things that you don't like to do.
I got you, but it's different than saying I'm going to stay in a bad hotel or I'm going to play with a bad coach. It's another thing to put something in your body that you disagree with. And looking back now, 2 years later, with all the things that people are coming out with now,
and they're
truth. Now you got to say the guy was maybe he wasn't. So now again, I get it. You're part of that team, but look at all the policies now and all the people trying to get their jobs back because they should never have been forced to not be able to work without getting it. Sorry. I don't agree with what he did, but my only point is the Nets acquiesced, said it was okay, don't play, and we're going to pay you. And then to turn around and say those things after he left that he wasn't appreciated, that's why.
$37 million, I could be appreciated too.
I'd appreciate you.
When it came real quick, when it came to the COVID vaccine,
yep.
Nobody, and to this day, still nobody knows what's going on and how to handle it.
Absolutely.
At my job, I ended up having to get the vaccine. I got it in September of 2021. From that day forward, the guys that I work with that did not get the vaccine had to be tested once a week.
Right.
Okay. That vaccine supposedly protected you for 6 months. Then you had to get the booster. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not get the booster.
Okay.
They just stopped at my job telling these guys that they had to get tested once a week.
Well, because I don't know if it's hot. Well, I don't know if.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if the mayor did it, but I know the mumbler finally said, "Oh yeah, the emergency."
It doesn't matter who said it. The whole point of it, he has nothing to do with it. The whole point of it is that from March of 2022, when the vaccine supposedly left my body, I didn't have to get tested, get vaccinated, nothing.
Right.
People that said no, they weren't going to get the vaccine still had to provide a once a week clear.
Right.
So politics and money. Get it 3 days before you came back to work.
Wow.
It was bullshit.
I worked with a guy, and he used to always say, "Never look at the top of the dirt. Push the dirt away on the side. Look what's underneath it." And that's what they do. It was all money. They were getting billions and billions of dollars.
Of course, that's all it was.
That's how they did. And if you looked at it, it was no more. People were dying no more than the regular flu.
Listen,
that's exactly what it was.
To this day, they're still pushing new Omicron boosters. No. Listen, keep it all. Have a good day.
I'd rather drop dead than have them sticking them needles.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So that's again, I couldn't be happier that the net thing fell apart. It's the opposite way. I love to see a team get built. And they all came in here swinging that they were the top of the food chain. Left here having won nothing. Absolutely.
How would they win? One playoff game?
I think they won. I'm not sure. I think they won one playoff series, if I'm not mistaken. They might have that 1 year, and then they lost to the Bucks last year. Durant stepped on the line, missed the three. Said
but 3/4 of an inch or something.
Yeah, but it was a total failure. Total failure. And they'll, it might take a long time for them to recover. And the Brooklyn Nets deserve everything they get. So we'll see.
Just one fast question.
Sure, Bob.
This new guy the Rangers got, they're making a big stinker.
I can't tell you too much about him. I don't know if Jeff read anything. I didn't even read the article. It's very hard for me to watch Ranger games because I don't have.
I know. I only went on TNT or something.
Yeah, so I happened to catch the article just before I was coming on the air. I didn't get a chance to read it, so I don't know. The Rangers are having a good season, from what I've seen online. Frankie Catalano, who's a big Ranger fan, maybe Frankie can give us a little insight better than I can right now. I'm starting to get back into hockey for the year, like I always do, but it's really hard when you can't get Ranger games on TV because your cable network.
Last year, that guy Tarasenko had 34 goals, 82 points.
Wow.
During the 21-22 season. He helped the Blues reach the postseason.
Did it tell you what he's doing this year so far, Jeff?
I don't see anything as of yet. I'll look it up. He was a 6-time 30-goal scorer.
Okay.
Which not for nothing. Years ago, these guys in the NFL used to score a lot more than 30 goals. It
seems like that's what the new thing is. You don't see a lot of 50-goal scorers, I don't believe anymore.
No.
No, but it's not that much. I feel. I'm sorry.
Is he a defenseman, a forward, a center?
I'm going to guess he plays up front. I don't think he's a defenseman scoring 30 goals. I don't think much of that anymore.
Well, that's true too.
Guys carrying the puck don't seem to happen much anymore. But and he will help the Rangers. Good. I still love the Rangers. He's a wing. Okay, so hopefully we'll get some Ranger playoff games, and I get to watch a little bit more. But Comcast does not carry the MSG network anymore.
Yeah.
So you can only get it if it's on the NHL network or TNT or something else. So
all right. Well, enjoy the rest of the week. I'll see you over the weekend. Definitely.
I'll see you Sunday.
Enjoy your work tomorrow. Take care, guys.
All right. That's my dad. Checks in every week with us. Love having him part of the show, and we're getting right back to it.
Tarasenko, I don't know. I mean, listen, these guys are watching hockey, not me. 10 goals, 19 assists, 29 points. He's minus 18. He's only got 8 penalty minutes. It looks like he's averaging about 17 minutes a game. 2 power play goals. I don't know if I'm reading this right. It looks like power play goals. Power play against. It looks like he's 7. 1 shorthanded goal, 103 shots. I don't know. I don't think he's
well, again, I know the Rangers are always looking for a little bit of scoring, especially when you get to the playoffs. Perfect win for the Rangers. He needed out of St. Louis. Listen, the last time the Rangers did this back in 2015 with Louis St.
Martin St. Louis.
Yes, Martin St. Louis worked out great. They rode him to the Cup, even though they lost to the Kings. But we'll see if this works out the same way.
He was old and washed up by the time.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. He was done. They just had one last magic run with him, and I want to say he retired after that season, but maybe they brought him back for the next year. But
when he broke into the league, that guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's about when I was into hockey, dude. I knew so much about hockey that no bullshit. I'm not saying it to brag. I would have let you guys all sit in a room by yourselves, and you still wouldn't have come up with as much as I knew.
Really?
When I got into it, I immersed myself in it to the point where I knew everything. And then they went on strike.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I just can't be bothered. I never looked back.
Yep.
I knew so much stuff about the game. It was unbelievable. Like stats I'm talking about.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Well, listen, we always love the playoff hockey here. We'll keep an eye on the Rangers and the Knicks and now the Brooklyn Nets. But right now it's Super Bowl Sunday coming up. And we're just talking about no buzz. I don't know how you guys feel, but there's just not a big buzz to this game. But, Jeff, let's get into the game a little bit. It's an interesting matchup. Obviously, the focus is going to be on the two offenses. You got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, an offense that generates a ton of points. And the same thing on the Eagles side with Jalen Hurts, Goddard, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. They have running backs, both Sanders and Boston Scott. But to me, the best unit on the field is probably the Philadelphia defense, who has two really good corners and a defensive front that just had 70 sacks this year. So, I have a hard time believing that the Chiefs are going to stop that pass rush and put a lot of points on the board. But give me your thoughts. I also want to give you some thoughts on kind of going the opposite way. So What are your thoughts early about this game Sunday and the matchup?
Well, I think the thing a lot of people are forgetting about is that, Philly was in the Super Bowl 5-6 years ago. In NFL times, that was a lifetime ago.
Sure.
Especially the way
not the same team, not even close to being the same team. Yep.
And you're talking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs that were in the AFC championship game 5 years in a row, have been to the Super Bowl. This will be their third Super Bowl in 4 years?
4 years, I think. Yeah.
Whatever it is, he knows how to play in pressure situations. Plus, he played with a high ankle sprain in his last game.
Yeah.
He's had 2 weeks off to relax. One of these teams are going to come out swinging. You know that.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that the past has proven that it may be the Chiefs. I would put, if anybody's going to come out hot, I'm saying it's the Chiefs. Anybody's going to come out and win the game just by playing hard, I think it's going to be the Chiefs. I don't know much about the Eagles because let's face it, last year I believe they didn't even have a winning record last year.
I want to say they were 5-11 or 6 and 5-10 or something. 5-11. Yeah.
Thought that they were going to get to this point where they are today. I just don't say that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I just don't see it. I don't feel it. I think it's Kansas City's game to win.
I'm with you. Again, my biggest thing about Philly right now is, one, I think their defense is the best unit on the field, so that gives them a good advantage. That gives them a big advantage in my book. But I don't know what Philly's offense is right now. Now, they put up a lot of points against both the Giants and the 49ers. Now, the Giants, I think, were overmatched. I think the Giants were happy to be there. Just talent-wise, they just could not match up to that Philly team. And a couple early mistakes really doomed the Giants. I thought one bad decision by Dable, not to punt instead of going for it on his own side of the field, really hurt and gave them the momentum. But even said that, they struggled in the 49er game. But the problem with the 49ers, they couldn't move the ball. Once Purdy got hurt early on, Josh Jacobs was no match, and then when he went out, it was basically a disaster. So you never really got a sense of what the Eagles really are.
When you're playing with no quarterback,
right?
How could you be expected to do anything?
Correct.
And like you're saying, I agree with you. That they got to play basically 10 men on the field, pretty much. Against the Eagles. Yeah. But I just think that the Chiefs just have a little bit more knowledge than anybody else out there right now. Are they the Brady? Is Mahomes the Brady of the 2020s? Well, it's starting to look that way with his success. If he wins this game, and then he'll be 2-1 in 3 Super Bowls, and he's in the league 6 years.
Right.
You're gonna have to think that this is going to be the team to beat next year, also.
Right. Yeah. No, listen, I think this is going to be a close Super Bowl. I think the big advantage I see for the Chiefs right now is their coaching staff. I love Spagnuolo. I think he does a great job in big games. I think he'll come out and game plan this. I think he's going to confuse the hell out of Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts still isn't 100%, Jeff. And I think Andy Reid is going to – I don't think he's going to be around much longer, to be honest. I don't see Andy Reid sticking around too much longer. I think this is a big game for him. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. I think it'll be close, but I like the Chiefs in this one. But it's all going to depend on how healthy Mahomes is and how much they can keep that defensive line off of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna see a good game, but both teams had 2 weeks off.
Yep.
2 weeks helped Mahomes. Do the 2 weeks cool the Eagles off? Both teams came into the Super Bowl riding a high and a nice win streak.
Yeah.
Also, so sure. I got a feeling that like I said, the winning is something that Mahomes and the Chiefs have been doing for the last couple of years.
Yep.
That they have success in the playoffs. They've gotten to the Super Bowl a couple of times. They know what it's like to be here.
Right.
Jalen Hurts and the rest of the Philadelphia Eagles don't. This is their first trip. I mean, there's a couple veterans that are left on that team, but I don't think anybody that's going to carry the team. Maybe what they got, Travis Kelce over there with Zach. No, that's Zach Efron. No. What is that? The other Kelce brother in
Jason.
That's it, Jason. So he was there the last time that the Phillies.
Yeah, won. At least
Philly won, I should say, not Phillies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think one of the defensive linemen. There's a few guys there that still, not many, but there's a couple of guys still around. But it's a new team. It's a younger team. I think if the best unit wins, if that determines it, I think the Eagles have it with their defense. I just have this feeling that Andy Reid is going to come up with some new stuff, and I love Steve Spagnuolo. I think Spags is going to dial it up a notch and force Hurts to move and tuck the ball down and have to run a little bit and see how that shoulder is and see how much he'll test it. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. And again, we'll get into some of the betting. We're going to talk a little bit about the referees right now. I want to switch a little bit. Jeff, there's been a lot of crazy talk since those championship games that the the games are rigged. Now, our good friend Matt Salitri has been spouting all of that forever. Did you see that play? It's rigged. I said, Matt, what do you think? They have a phone and say, hey, tell the guy to drop the ball? I mean, but there was actually a screenshot passed around that was supposed to be a script that showed that the Eagles won the game. I believe it was 37-34. And it was this whole breakdown of, how the game went and who did what and how they did it. And they asked one of the big gambling places in Vegas if there was a lot of bets being made for the final score being that. And they said 5 times the normal amount against any other bet. There are people actually buying into the fact that it's rigged and that will be the final score. And I don't like some of the things the NFL does. I think they've done a terrible job refereeing the games. And maybe for the reason that, it's easier to see the fact that they're making mistakes. Years ago, blurry TVs, no replay, it's different. But Jeff, NFL games being rigged, I can't buy into that.
You know what? I see Matt's comments, and I mean, I don't sit there and read all of them because sometimes him and the other fella there, they just go completely fucking off to the point where it's like these guys spend too much time watching football. Sometimes I think they need to get away from the TV a little bit. But I understand what it is that they're saying. All right, and it certainly seems as though that something is up. It's not just, regular football. Something is up.
Okay.
What do you realize? Let's look at it this way. Okay. Instead of saying that this is what we think, let's just say that they got caught rigging the games.
Right.
Okay. This would be bigger than these guys putting racial stuff on their jerseys and helmets. Kneeling for flags, this, that, and the other thing. They'll wish that they were going through those troubles again. They would lose all the viewership because then it's going to be, is this football or is this wrestling? Now, do I think that they have a preference? Yes, of course, I believe they have a preference. Maybe they don't want to see a team like the Los Angeles Rams or the Cincinnati Bengals or a smaller franchise like that. Hello, Carrie. How are you?
Right. Hey, Carrie.
Getting some success. Maybe, who wants to see Carolina play for the Super Bowl again? Who wants to see Cincinnati and Carolina? I wouldn't want to watch that game. I don't even know if I would watch that game. There's certain teams that you just don't want to see playing in the Super Bowl. And then there's other teams that make it and they make it to the Super Bowl. And you're like, well, all right, it was a good defensive battle. Is a good defensive saying something's a good defensive battle is to me just a way of saying that this game just didn't have it today. It wasn't defense; they sucked. That's how I
again. Yeah, I don't know. I think this you can have a great defensive game. Listen, if you have a tremendous offensive game and you score 50 points, that means the defense sucked. I mean, one way or the other. I love a good defensive battle. I love a good 17-14 game. I like games where there's strategy and you're punting and you're deciding to go for it. But I love those type of football games where you kind of have to coach to win the game, and it doesn't happen a lot anymore.
A 17-14 game, 21-17 game is one thing, but when the game is 9-6 going into the fourth quarter,
that I agree with.
That all right, so they kicked a few field goals. There's no excitement. You're better off having a game with that they're throwing for 700 yards before the first half and scoring 6 or 7 touchdowns and a half, because at least people are seeing results, they're seeing scores. A defensive game could be a great game to watch.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want to see it, and then sit there and have to watch the hour-long Super Bowl show and then go back out and play. It makes no sense. I don't like it.
Again, I don't like to watch games where nobody's stopping anybody. They're just going up and down the field. To me, I want to see some defense. I want to see a big play. I want to see an interception, fumbles. I want to see all the stuff that goes with a good football game.
Plays like that are different, but when it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, that's boring. That's not fun to watch.
No, I'm with you.
That somebody sacks the quarterback and he drops the ball, and that you have a huge scrum trying to get the ball. That's a different story. But when it's they go move the ball 8 yards and 3 plays and then they punt. Now they move it 6 and they punt. Now they move it 8 again and they punt. Who the fuck wants to see that?
No, listen, I get you. I get you on that point. Again, Hard Rocket Sports. That's Jeff. I'm Tommy. Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about the Super Bowl. We got a lot to get to still, so hang around. We're going to talk a little Iron Maiden and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in a minute. But Jeff, while there is no buzz, people are betting in record droves. I mean, I think they expect $16.8 billion in bets this weekend on the Super Bowl. And regardless, we know that Sunday at 6:00 there'll be 100 million people plus, because that's the average. 110 million people tune into the Super Bowl every year, whether it's because they just tune in because that's what you do on that day for the commercials, to go get together and have wings and pizza or chili or whatever it is people cook at their house, or to watch a football game, or to make a bet. And otherwise, while there's no buzz, you and I kind of, even for myself, I love the Super Bowl, I love everything about it. It just hasn't drawn me in yet. I'll be there 6 something on Sunday night, wings, and just trying to watch a football game, and I'll have a few bets on it. So no matter what, I'll be there. But does it shock you, the amount of money being put on this game, even though there's no buzz on it?
No, not at all, because with everybody having a smartphone and FanDuel and all of these sites like this, it makes it easy.
Super easy.
Place bets. I myself, I don't know about you. Do you have any boxes, or are you just betting?
I do not have any boxes. It's funny. I was going to do it. I was going to do one 2 weeks ago. I started to think about it, got myself together, and I went, I just don't have the time. I just don't. And I got chasing people around for money. The last time I did one was a long time ago, and I got beat for $50. And I said, I'll never do it again.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So,
fuck that.
Yeah, I'm going to put a bunch of prop bets. I'm going to put a bet on the game. I'll tell you flat out, I'm going to be picking the Chiefs money line, straight up win. I think I'm going with the over, but I'll weigh that out at the last minute.
What will you bet? Like how much will you bet?
It depends. I would tell you for this one, I've won a few dollars this year, so probably $100.
Okay, I did $135 with all the boxes that I have.
Okay, there you go.
Like I got a couple $50 boxes. I got a 30 or 40 or whatever it is. Some guy at work was doing them. I was going to get somebody offered me $100 box. Just like I can't. There's just too much, So yeah. I got enough to keep me interested, and a couple different number combinations, which I looked at real quick. Nothing outstanding, but nothing too bad. And your invitation for me and my wife to come down, we're gonna have to pass because By the time I get out of work, I just never told you this week. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I told you can let me know last minute. No problem.
By the time I get out of work and get down there, I don't know if there's going to be traffic, and then I'm only going to be able to stay for half a game anyway because I got to get up early for work the next day.
Yep, I hear you. Yeah, me, my dad and mom are coming over. I'm sure she's mom's bringing a couple things and just some wings and nice and easy.
Yeah, we have wings. My wife makes a shrimp cocktail and
nice.
What else does she makes? Chili, homemade chili.
Yep, my wife will be doing the same. Even though I won't be eating the chili, I'm still on my diet.
You won't take a night off for
nope.
one game.
I doubt it. I took so far in my Sunday will be my 40th day, which is technically the end. Although I'm going to keep going another 30 days. When I was on vacation, I had one night I drank a little bit, which I haven't. That was the only night I've drank. And I drank enough, though, that I wanted to get drunk enough to order a Subway sandwich. So I had a Subway sandwich because I was starving and there was nothing else to eat. And the next day, I had 2 slices of pizza. So even with all of that, I still managed to maintain my diet. But no, I'm going to eat wings, and that'll probably be it. And I'll stick to my diet for another 30 days and keep up the weight loss.
Oh, good.
All good, but I'll enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, I think at this point, whatever game is on, people are going to be around the TV. Their eyes are going to be on it, and now with betting, it's even bigger because it's become an event. I mean, the Super Bowl has just become. It's almost a holiday. It's almost a national holiday where they're starting to position it where it's going to be on President's Weekend. And people will be able to, take the day off and have the next day off or something. And nice. Thank you for the update. But
I gotta go to work the next day.
Yeah, me too. I would always tell you, in all the years, I only took the day after Super Bowl one time, the very first Giants Super Bowl, which I think I'm almost positive we were at Brusco's house together. I was at Brusco's watching this one. Frank Jeffrey was there. Both Bruscos. I believe you and your brother were there. It was in Jerry's living room. 86 Super Bowl. I'm almost
possible. Which one? Is that the one against Buffalo?
That's the one against Denver. The first
Denver, that's possible. The one against Buffalo I watched with at Nicky Scatino's house.
Okay. I know you did, Frank.
I'm running off into Newdorf to see if people were going ballistic and turning cars over and shit. And well, highly disappointed.
Yeah, well, the first one we wound up doing that, and then for what they announced right after the game that they would be doing a big thing at the stadium the next day. They were having what do they call it? The whole team was going to be there. Open up the stadium for free. You can go there, and the team was going to come in there and give speeches and all that. So me, the 2 Broncos, and Frank Jeffrey slept in my car at the Meadowlands. And we waited. The team bus showed up at like 2:00 in the morning. There was about maybe 100 people out there eating food, playing football. It was freezing cold, snowing. We slept in my Chevy Nova.
Oh, God.
The 4 of us. Pretty sure we didn't poop or anything all night because there wasn't anywhere to go. And the next day, we walked into a half-empty stadium, which we could have drove up 5 minutes before. Walked in, been in front row seats, and we wound up calling out of work. Me and Brusco, we worked together at the time, and didn't go to work there. So it's the only Super Bowl I ever took the next day off for. It was the first Giant Super Bowl.
We don't need to celebrate the Super Bowl the next day.
Yeah.
I
was 18 or 19 years old. I have no idea. He fell off the face of the earth. He's living in – actually lives in he moved from Jackson. He was living in Jackson, and he moved to Florida now. He lives, I think, down in Naples, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, yeah, he lives down there. He's on what do you call it? Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah, he likes it. No matter what I post, he likes it.
Oh, okay. I have not.
Never once ever said anything about it.
I haven't talked to Jerry since April of 1998 was the last time I spoke to Jerry Brusco. So just for the record. So I have no idea how he is. I don't know what he's doing. And I really don't care, to be honest with you. I don't wish him ill will. I don't, not at all. I just, I did too much for the guy over the years. And that was it. Yeah, he did. He was living For a long time, he lived in Jackson. He worked for like the water department, I think, for a while.
That's what I had heard.
Yep, and then he moved to Florida not too long ago. And it was
Jackson is in Florida.
No, Jackson, New Jersey. He lived there.
Oh no, he's been in Florida for a while.
Frankie's pretty close. Not that bad. I would actually, if I saw him, I would say hello to him. Him, I would say hello to.
Who?
Jerry? Read Frankie's comment.
Oh.
It's not that bad, Frankie. Not that bad.
He's been down in Florida for a number of years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His uncle Ernie moved down there a long time ago, and I think he followed.
What happened? Did his uncle Ernie ain't married to that chick anymore?
No, they're still married.
Well, actually, the chick was who he was related to.
Yes, Jerry's related to Angel. That's I want to say it was Mrs. Brusco's half sister. I'm not sure if they were full sisters.
Oh, that's how that was?
I'm almost positive they were half sisters.
Really?
Not don't quote me on that. That could be off on that. But Angel and Mrs. Brusco Lorraine were related. They were sisters.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yep. So he followed them down. I believe he followed them down into that area of Florida, but I'm not even 100% sure. Like I said, I got that from a little bit from Ernie. I talked to him the last time I was in second to last time I was in Florida. He reached out to me to tell me to come down to check out the area where he was living, but he's a little too far down for me. So we'll see. But we're talking Super Bowl. What do you guys do? What do you eat? Tell us are you making bets? What do you guys think? Is there a buzz over the Super Bowl? I have a great stepsister. What did I say? I have a great stepsister story. Smart. I can only imagine what the story is. Maybe tell us off the air. Wait, we'll get together and talk off the air about that one.
Yeah, sisters on this show seem to be a little.
Yes.
You know.
So, but guys, let's know what you do for Super Bowl. What do you eat?
I'm going to put a prop bet in with Raphael.
I
say next year you're watching the game with your brother's sister.
Yeah.
Same house.
You don't waste your money, my friend. Don't waste your money. But I would say, Jeff, probably the most popular food for a Super Bowl party is going to be wings, right? Would you agree?
I would say.
Yeah. So I let me know what you guys eating out there, who you watching it with, and maybe again me, Jeff, a couple other guys. We're on a thread. We kind of watch games together sometimes. So maybe you'll have the Hard Rocket Sports Show cranked up a little bit and kind of do some commenting along the way. But guys, stick around. We got a lot more to get to. I want to get to a little Iron Maiden right now, and then we'll get back to some sports. We'll get to the Nets. I want to get a little more football in before the night's over. And again, don't forget for your best football, tune in on Saturday. This Saturday, the big Sunday Audible Super Bowl special. Jeff, myself, John Myhefka will get together. We'll break down the game, talk about prop bets, and all that good stuff. So make sure you tune in this Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for the Sunday Audible right here on the Hard Rocket Sports Network.
Tom, I got to run in the X room real quick. I'll
be right back. Do you think? Hey, you know what? There's one interesting story for the from the NFL this week, and that's the Michael Irvin saga. Now, I'm not a huge Michael Irvin fan. I thought he was a big jerk off when he played for the Cowboys, and he's probably a big jerk off the air. It's a deep fried day, Carrie. What are you making? What's the stuff? Little hot dogs, Frankie. That's a good one. That's a good one. Carrie, tell me what are you deep frying? We were down in Florida not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, and we went to a state fair. Palm Beach County, I think it was West Palm or Palm Beach County, had a state fair going on. It was the first time I've ever been to a state fair, to be honest with you. And you walk around and all sorts of rides and attractions and a lot of food. A lot of the same food, but a lot of food. And they had these big, huge drumsticks and every different type of food you could ask for. But they fry everything. I mean, Twinkies, Snickers bars, pickles, you name it. It's deep fried. And we were going to try a Twinkie. I'm unfortunately on a diet. Wings, mozzarella sticks, deep fried meat ravioli. Deep fried meat raviolis. That's interesting. I am not the biggest meat ravioli fan. I have to be honest with you. And I'm not really big on the bougie, shrimp raviolis and lobster raviolis. I'm a old-fashioned, give me a straight-up cheese ravioli. I like the round ones better than the square ones, but the square ones are great too. But I never tried them deep fried, Carrie. I'm going to have to, when I come off this diet and I'm back to my fighting weight from my playing days, I'm going to have to try a little deep fried. Yes, cheese ravioli Frankie is the way to go. Again, the little hot dogs are always the best. To me, one of the greatest inventions of all time is the guy who made up those little hot dogs. Not a lot better than a good hot dog. Please don't tell me what's in a hot dog. I don't care. They just take good. Dirty water dogs, the little cocktail guys, however you cook them. I'm a big hot dog guy. Big fan of the hot dog. Yeah, keep it coming, guys. Let us know. Who are you watching? Is everybody watching with a crowd? Do you watch it with your significant other, a small group? How many people watch it? Around here, there'll be probably 6 or 8 of us. A couple of the kids and their significant others. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. And I got it's a little on the bougie side, but all right. Listen, I don't. Whatever you like to sit down and you throw the game on. You have a couple bites. I got an Italian place right up the road for me, and they make incredible ravioli, fresh pasta. Yeah, that is the best thing. When I go to the pork store in my town, we have 2 of them. One's kind of closer. There's nothing better than that smell on a Sunday morning. You walk in and everything's fresh. They got the fresh mozzarella balls and all the fresh pastas and salads and the bread. It's heaven. That's why I gained so much weight and I had to go on a big diet. So I'm looking happy to be feeling better about that, all that. But yeah, there's nothing better than stuff. And of course, some brews, some bourbons, good times. Just got some Bushmills in the house this week. I'll have maybe a couple of shots of Bushmills this week. And I do an egg wash and bread them. Okay, interesting. I agree. Italian grub too. Yes, gotta have it. Let's go back to Frankie. Going to my friend Fred Casale's house. Good. Yeah, listen. I have to be honest. If I'm watching the Giants in the Super Bowl, I like the house to be empty, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't want anybody interrupting me. I'm gonna watch the game. Now, I watch every football game, and when I watch a football game, it's the old coach in me, it's the player in me. And again, when I talk player, I'm talking high school and street leagues. I like to analyze the game, watch what the teams are doing, try to figure out, how each team's beating each other. So I kind of like it quiet. Game like this one, I'll just sit back and I'll watch it. We'll make some prop bets along the way, have some fun and watch a football game. But if it was the Giants, it'd be a quiet house because I got to concentrate and watch my team. And there's a lot of cursing usually involved, Jeff.
Well, you don't want to be there in case they lose and have somebody be there.
That just doesn't happen. The Giants get the Super Bowls, they usually win, so it's pretty good.
They're not.
Yeah. So next year when the Giants get there, you'll come over and watch the game with me. That's all.
They won't be there next year. Look at this. This fucking psycho.
Frankie, you gotta love it. Good, but Jeff, let's talk a little Iron Maiden for a minute. And we talked last week about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the inductions and the induction ceremony and the inductions coming up. And right now, Iron Maiden is trailing 5 other artists in the Hall of Fame vote, in the fan induction vote. Excuse me.
You have the list?
Yes, Iron Maiden is trailing currently Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, Soundgarden, Warren Zevon, and the curious Willie Nelson in the fan vote. So one more. Well, right now, 1 million votes have already been cast since voting began, and now it goes through April 28th. Fans can vote every day through that point, and the top 5 artists are selected by the public. Will copyright a fan's ballot that will be tallied along the other ballots to select the 2023 inductees.
They're not getting it.
Yeah. So right now, I can give you. You want to know how many votes everybody got?
Sure, why not?
So right now, Cyndi Lauper's got 113,870 votes. George Michael, 112,298 votes.
Oh, they were neck and neck pretty much.
Yep. Soundgarden drop off now to 89,058. Warren Zevon, 87,888. Willie Nelson, 87,685. And pulling up the rear with the gear is Iron Maiden at 82,528. So the top vote getters will down. The top 5 people will get announced in May and inducted into the fall. So here's to be eligible for this year's ballots. Each nominee's first single album had to be released in 1988 or earlier. 8 of the nominees, blah, 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 are all on the ballot for the first time. And this is the 5th nomination for Rage Against the Machine, the 4th for Kate Bush and the Spinners, and the 2nd for Maiden and A Tribe Called Quest. So,
how is it Iron Maiden only has 2 cracks at this so far about Rage Against the Machine. How many did you say?
Five for Rage Against the Machine, Jeff. 5.
How the fuck does that work?
Because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is made up of the actual Hall of Fame is made up of progressives and the woke left, and metal bands just don't get in. And they just don't get in. Now, we're lucky we've gotten a couple in the past. We got some decent bands gotten in lately with Judas Priest last year and Kiss a few years ago, and Rush.
I don't know if I would go as far as to bring politics into this. It's
again,
Hall of Fame. Nobody really gives a fuck. A lot of jerk-offs, maybe.
Rolling Stone magazine. Open up Rolling Stone magazine and tell me it's not a bunch of people. Again, it's not politicians. I'm telling you, it's just guys. It's just people who. Let's put it this way. I think at some point Rolling Stone gave Yoko Ono like a Lifetime Achievement Award. So right off the bat, it tells you.
Lifetime achievement of not being able to sing. Yeah.
Correct. But, I remember reading something in there by one of their writers where they compared her to a great singer and basically said that she was misunderstood, I guess is the best way to say it, and how much of an abstract artist she was. And I want to say, and she sucked. But yeah. So again, the people who control that are just not down the same road and path that we do. And again, listen, the metal bands are never going to be loved by Rolling. Listen, Kiss, I don't think ever made them cover Rolling Stone or there was some weird stuff with Kiss. One of the biggest bands of the 70s and into the 80s. And they were just not well liked by Rolling Stone magazine, and whatever. I don't get a lot of I don't put a lot of put on this, but I would just say this: if you're a metal fan, I've already voted. Get out there and vote for Iron Maiden. Let's get them in. No, to me, there's very few other metal bands from that era that are more deserving than this band.
Where do you vote for them? Where do you cast your vote? Tell me where to vote.
Let me see. Let me get it for you, Jeff. Hold on.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It might be. Let me see. I don't remember, and I can't get to it on my computer at the moment. Let me find the website to vote. Spread the word. Let's see. It's not giving me the website, Jeff. Try rockfa.me.
rockfa.me
/ or / this way.
Okay.
Fan vote 23.
Fan vote 23. Let's see what happens.
Try that. See what you get.
Fan vote 23. Rockhall.com. Your vote. It's time to support your favorite, so we can put in the top 5.
You can put in your top 5.
And let's see. I'm gonna vote right now.
Go ahead.
So right now I'm putting in Maiden.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna put in Rage Against the Machine.
Okay. I won't vote.
Putting in Soundgarden.
Yeah, I just voted for Soundgarden again. Yep.
That's 3. Okay.
I'm going with Cyndi Lauper.
What is that?
Huh? Oh, nice. I think you split your pants.
I'm gonna put in George Michael.
Okay, I'll vote for George Michael with you. I need one more.
I don't know. Well, let's put in Sheryl Crow, so we got a little eye candy.
Okay, there you go. I'm with you.
And I'm gonna log in to submit. How about I'm just gonna fucking submit? Really? Log in with Facebook? Are you kidding me? No. Well, that's who I would vote for: Iron Maiden, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, George Michael, and Sheryl Crow.
Okay, there you go. Jeff's got it. I'll find you. Count my vote. I just voted based. I did it through my Facebook. You have to do nothing but just click Facebook, and it gives you the vote.
I had enough bullshit today.
Yep.
Trying to get on my pension website.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What I'm doing is my lease is up on my truck. Right.
Okay.
Like 2 months.
Yep.
So I'm looking to buy the truck.
Okay.
So in order to buy the truck, what I'm going to do is I took a pension loan so that I could put down a down payment on the truck because the prices were through the roof.
Right.
So I'm going to put down a little bit of money.
Okay.
I would have been easier to hack into NASA and start a nuclear sequence and start launching fucking bombs than it would to access my pension.
Right.
And then I'm on the phone for, let me see if I can tell you the exact amount of time that I was on the phone for.
Right.
Okay. 1 hour and 13 minutes to get this woman, and she's like, "Hi, my name's Star, and how can I help you?" And I'm like, "Well, I would like to, reset my pension password. Go to the nicest home page, click forgot password, and follow the directions. Have a nice day." I'm like, "What?" It's like, really? You couldn't be a little bit more clearer on this on the homepage?
Yeah, they don't make it easy for you, right?
No, definitely not. And why are you taking it out? What are you doing there, Eddie?
I bought a new multi-stand for the guitars.
A multi-stand?
Yeah, it's one of those stand-up racks you can put 5 guitars in. So I got 5 of my 6, I believe, all on the rack at this point.
Well, what do you got? What do you got on the rack? Tell us what you got out there.
Well, we got the 2019 Gibson Les Paul. I'll show it to you. Nice tobacco sunburst.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah. Okay. And then,
you gotta speak up a little bit louder so we can hear you.
We got you. We got the Strat.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, we got I call it the Dave Murray Strat because this reminds me of Dave Murray. I love.
I got a humbucker in the bridge.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
We got my favorite guitar, even though it's not my favorite to play.
Nice.
Yes, very, very nice guitar to play. Got a great action on it. You absolutely a little getting used to, but it's a great guitar. Got the drop D tuning on it. A little drop D tuning.
Nice.
I got my Randy Rhoads Flying V.
Okay.
My dear friends, the Tolwinskis, for my 50th birthday. Thank you very much. One of my favorites to play. Very hard to play. But
yeah, that's when you got to play standing up.
Yeah, and it's very hard to put on a rack, by the way. It's a little tall and
yeah, I hear you.
Hold on. Put that down. Last but not least is my Giuseppe Dante Given Ovation electric acoustic.
Wasn't there a story behind that one?
Well, hold on. Put the shotgun back on the rack. Well, I had one that I had bought myself. It was a different color. And one time I was practicing with Giuseppe and a few other guys, and I put it it had a gig bag. And for some reason, either I didn't close the gig bag properly. I went to go pick it up, and the guitar dropped and hit the ground and shattered.
Oh my God.
And maybe a year or two later, I wasn't going to go buy a new one, $500. It just wasn't going to happen. And I had gotten Giuseppe a really nice job, making a lot of money. And one day he drove to my house and showed up and bought me a brand new one. And to be honest with you, I think I've played it 3 times. It's just one of those things. I just haven't had the ilk to break it out and play acoustic, but it's on the rack, and hopefully I'll pick it up a little bit more. But that's what's on the rack right now. And I got one more, which is sitting in a case someplace. My knockoff Gibson Gold Top, which I never play anymore. So
I hear you. Right behind that door, right there, is where everybody lives.
Yes.
I wish I could tell you that it was like the, special room. It's not. It's basically just a large closet.
Well, again, it's just sitting in this room. They come out to play usually on the weekends, and I have a little fun with it. So, but just thought I'd break it out, just have a little fun, and get to go. But beside, we talked about Kiss. I want to do a little something else. There was a big article in Blabbermouth about the longtime manager Doc McGee addresses Paul Stanley's lip sync accusations, Jeff. And let me read what he said, and then you tell me what you think of this. Kiss's longtime manager Doc McGee has defended Paul Stanley's vocal performance on Kiss's End of the Road tour, explaining that the Star Child fully sings to every song at every concert.
Okay.
So what does that tell you?
That he lip syncs.
No, what he's saying is, and I'll further enhance it, is that He said about Stanley, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, he sings every track, so he sings to it. So he's not lip syncing. He fully sings. It's enhanced. It's part of the process to make sure that everybody hears the songs the way they should be sang to begin with. Nobody wants to hear people do stuff that's not real. That's not what they came to hear. So what they're saying is they're playing a backing track, and he's singing along to that backing track. So you're hearing both he and his backing track at the same time.
Now,
and I'm okay with it. I agree with Frankie. We saw them together, and I didn't care whether he was singing or not. It was great.
Well, here's the question I have with that. Okay. If that's true and that's what he's doing, how does he accurately sing that track? Because you know how hard it is to stay in time that nobody's going to notice the difference? Is it that they're playing the track that he hears it and then he's singing on top of it, that maybe you're not necessarily hearing the other track, that he's just singing along with it like karaoke in his own ears?
I don't know. Maybe Adam Hines could give us a little update. For Adam, you out there? Do you know how a band would sing along during a show? Because, I mean, there's always all sorts of issues. I saw Kiss. Me and Jeff saw them at the Garden a few years back. And, I mean, while, you could tell it wasn't him singing, it was just too perfect. I didn't really give a shit, to be honest with you. But there was an incident a couple years back where Kiss drummer Eric Singer made a mistake during the show, and it kind of proved that they weren't playing along with that they were playing along with a track, whether it was just his vocal track or other stuff I'm not sure about. But, I would imagine in today's technology, a lot of people are doing it.
I would imagine that it's happening on some levels, yeah. But you know what? A band like that, that's older, I could see being a little...
Yeah, the guy's 70 years old, man.
Lenient towards him because of his age, yeah. Maybe he can't play no more.
Again, I believe he probably could sing. I don't think you could sing every night on the road at 70 years old, screaming and yelling over that music and sound as good as he sounds. I mean, they were fantastic. I know you're not a Kiss fan and you probably didn't enjoy it the same way I did, but I know they were fantastic. I saw them when I was 11. I saw them when I was 50-something years old, and they were just as good, if not better, than I saw them the first time.
They're not, they were good. They weren't bad. They weren't terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that I could say that like, wow, they really impressed me, and I can't wait to see it again. I saw them, and
check a box off, and you're good.
That's it. We go on. I mean, to me, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Either they're singing or they're not singing.
That's it. And then, you know what? If people are paying to go see it every night, then they don't care either, and everybody's moving on from it. I think more the media makes a big deal out of this. Hold on. Let's see. Close as I came to that, I lost my voice halfway through a show. I invited the fans to come up and sing so I could just play. So I wasn't lip syncing. It was an adapt and overcome. There you go. Listen, if people are paying to see you do it and you're okay doing it, hey, I'm okay with you doing it. If I don't want to see it or hear it, I won't go. I have no problem. I will go see Kiss in their last concert in New York. I will pay the money and I will go to see that concert. And whether he's lip syncing, singing along, or the fans come up and sing for him, I could care less. I want to see Kiss one more time before they wrap it up. So that's just the way I feel, and I'll go down swinging on that one. But Jim,
at this point in time, I don't think I can name a band that I would want to go see like that. I would be like, oh, I got to get tickets. Maybe, and a huge maybe would be Alice in Chains.
Okay.
That would be about it. It's quite evident Black Sabbath is not coming around.
Nah, that's done now with Ozzy. That's done.
No, it's finished, and there's just for the price of the shows and for everything that you hear, who may be lip syncing, who may not be playing, who may this, who may that. It's like, why am I going to be spending that kind of money to go see a show? You can't even buy a fucking T-shirt afterwards. Fucking $50-$60 for a T-shirt that ain't going to fit anyhow.
I got you. I will go see Maiden more before they're done. I mean, hopefully they got a few more tours. I didn't see this one. I'll see the next one where they're doing kind of a lot of older stuff. I wasn't a big fan of Senjutsu, so I didn't really go to this one. But I will go to the next tour. They're coming around, I think, next year and they're doing another old tour. So I'll get out to see Maiden on that one. I will absolutely see Kiss. I would say I got a couple bands I'd like to see if I could shake my old ass up to go. One would be Cheap Trick. I would love to see Cheap Trick one time. I tell you a band that you'd be surprised. I don't know if they're even still playing. Huey Lewis in the News. I would love to see Huey Lewis live. I know he's not the same anymore.
Well, let me double check on something first. I think Huey Lewis is dead.
No, he's not dead. That I can tell you. Yeah. The other one I would love to have seen, but it's too late now because my favorite player was the guitar player in REO Speedwagon, Gary Richrath, who passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, no, Huey Lewis is still alive.
Yes, I just saw him on Facebook. I think I follow him on Facebook.
72 years old.
I think he's got the bad pipe stuff. But Huey Lewis in his day had some of the best vocals of all time. Just great stuff.
He has hearing loss as a result of Meniere's disease. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Me either.
And canceled all upcoming tour dates. So I don't think you're going to see.
I think that one's over. I would probably still go see REO Speedwagon. I love a bunch of REO Speedwagon. But those aren't like I got to see. I'll see again Kiss, Maiden. Other than that, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I probably should have went to the tour last year with Def Leppard and Poison and that whole thing because I'd like to have seen some of those bands, but I can't see Crew. I couldn't bring myself to pay to see Motley Crue again. So I don't know, but there's a few bands I think I'd still like to see, and I mean I've seen a bunch of them enough. So yeah, again, not too many, but there's a few. And I'll be honest with you, there's a bunch of the next level bands, bands that we've interviewed on the show that I'd like to see when they come around. Guys like Jeff Westlake. I've now become a fan of my man Adam Hines and Fester. If they were in the area, I would go see that. Most won't admit it, but we all Speedwagon. Of course, yeah, you got to be a Speedwagon fan, man. High Infidelity is one of the best albums of all time. I mean, that was 1980. I was going into high school. That album came out, and bam, Lama Jamma. That was just a great album.
That's where you started questioning his sexuality.
I didn't question it. I was running. It was
Infidelity.
Dominic's telling me to pick up the phone. Dominic, there is no phone now. Dom,
F-man.
Put down the crack pipe.
There is no more Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, you can't. I think he's trying to call me. I tried to call myself.
Whatever he wants. He ain't getting in. He ain't getting on that way. It doesn't exist anymore.
That's But that was just a great album.
Listen, let him hang till next week. Tell him, Dom, if you hear me, you come on next week when the Jets announce that they have signed Derek Carr, whatever his name is.
Derek Carr signed it with the Saints. Don't worry about Derek Carr signed it with the Saints. He's done it 2 days.
For the purpose of this show, he's going to the Jets.
That's what you want to torture Dom with? That you signed Derek Carr? What if he signs Aaron Rodgers?
Who?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
You want to sign a 39-year-old man that may be on his way out the door?
Oh, we'll see. But Dom, I can't pick you up, Dom. I don't. I pick you up. I can't get you on the phone, so you're gonna have to Zoom in.
There is no more Blog Talk Radio.
There's no more Blog Talk. Yes, you're gonna have to.
It doesn't exist anymore.
We'll have to get you on the video next week. But again, guys, this is Hard Rocket Sports. Jeff and Tom. We're talking lots of music. We got to get back to sports in a minute. But, Jeff, I want to ask you a question. We always talk about what you're up to with the bands. And, I go back to the early days of us playing in bands together and our whole group, friends playing in bands. And there was also all sorts of incestuous stuff going on. And you got some great advice at the time from a good friend of ours about what instrument to play and why to play it. If you were starting out, if you could give advice to young kids starting out today who want to play an instrument, play some of the stuff that we grew up playing or stuff that's out there today, what advice would you give them to not only play, but to find ways to get better? Would you tell them don't pay attention to YouTube and social media? How would you advise somebody, let's say a teenager who's playing and wants to find a way to get into some sort of band, what advice would Jeff Tomwinski give them?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Simply because it's so hard nowadays. Because who is the band to capture the kids' attention, to make them want to play? You know, when we were younger, we knew it was Ozzy, it was Black Sabbath, it was some of these other bands, Maiden, Priest, Dio. None of these guys are out. None of these guys are out. And it's like, who are you going to tell them to model after to play? You give them some of the older bands and say, well, you know, listen to Hendrix, listen to this one, listen. They're not going to know who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one thing. So I think trying to convince a kid to play some of the newer stuff, Foo Fighters, maybe. We don't know if they're even going to carry on at this point in time. But getting them to follow new bands are hard. How many of them are actually going to look to follow some of the old bands, which is what you need to do. But as far as doing YouTube and stuff, I don't know if I could talk somebody out of that, because that's where I learn a majority of my songs.
Right.
Well, let me watch. It's laziness.
Yep.
It's also, I watch what somebody does, and then I'm playing along to the song anyway to make sure that I'm getting it right.
Right.
So, it's not just, okay, there we go, I'm playing with the song, and, I learned it from this guy playing, and that's it. I still play along and make sure that they figured it out right. Because if they don't figure it out right, I try to do my best to figure it out right. So it's a good tool without a doubt, but maybe learn how to read tabs better. To see a way you can help yourself that way. You could get the books from the stores, or maybe do online lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you got to have the desire. If you don't have the desire, it doesn't matter what you do. You're never going to learn. You're not going to want to learn.
Yes, right. Yes, yes, we do love the Remorons here on the Rocket Sports Show. Sure. By the way, Louis Pica, I'm not a big Supertramp fan. I got to be honest with you. It's not my kind of era. A lot of those bands in that era are incredible. My taste in the 70s was a little weird. I got into the Beatles. I was a big Elvis fan. My dad was an Elvis fan, so I was a young kid. I was 12, 13 when Elvis died, 77. So I was 10, 11 years old.
Let me ask Louis Pica. Maybe you could give me an answer on this one. Supertramp. Didn't some of the guys in Supertramp belong to Genesis at one time? I think. When they played in Genesis, and they went over and formed Supertramp and went back to Genesis. Supertramp wasn't around for a while. I know wasn't around a long while, I should say. I believe they only put out an album or two, from what I can remember.
I'll do a little research on that. Supertramp Wikipedia. Jeff, I think you might be a little off on that. Let's see. So Supertramp, past members Rick Davies. Wow,
the Kinks, that's it.
Wow.
It was the Kinks, not the.
Yeah. Roger Hodgson, Richard Palmer, Keith Baker, Dougie Thompson, Richard Millar, Dave Winthrop, Kevin Curry, Frank Farrell, Bob Siebenberg, John Helliwell, Mark Hart, Carl something, Tom Walsh, Cliff Hugo, Leif Thornburg, and Jesse Seibenberg. So to start, the formation is 69 to 72. Then 73 to 78, Crime of the Century, Commercial Breakthrough. Let's see. 79 to 83, Breakfast in America, Famous Last Words, and Hodgson's Departure. 84 to 88, Brother Where You Bound, and Free as a Bird. Hodgson and Davies reunion in 1993, 96 to 2002. Yeah, and 2000 to present. So Supertramp's out there a while. There's a lot of people. And,
I see that. I knew they were mixed with one band. I guess it was the Kinks.
And their album, Supertramp in 1970, indelibly stamped 71, Crime of the Century 74, Crisis, What Crisis 75, Even the Quietest Moments 77, Breakfast in America 79, Famous Last Words 82, Brother Where You Bound 85, Free as a Bird 87, Some Things Never Change 97, big split after that, and then Slow Motion in 2002 was their last album out. So I don't know too much about them. I probably know a few songs. Not my era of music, unfortunately.
You know a few of the songs. We were about 12 or 13 when they started coming out with the Breakfast in America album. It had The Waitress on the album.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
And, they had about, They had a bunch of songs on it, 3 or 4 really major hits.
Okay.
That I remember.
Yeah, again, it's not my era of music. I kind of got into. I was at that point. I was probably late '70s. I'm listening to the Knack. I was listening to Blondie, bands like that. It wasn't until about '81, I would say, Blizzard of Oz did it for me, and then I was into Maiden and Rush and Kiss. I always listened to Kiss. Was probably the one band from '75 on that I could say I've always listened to. I have every album, including the last couple of bad ones. I would say I was a Kiss guy and then a few other things in the middle. And then the 80s blew up for me with all that stuff.
See, I have a couple. I have actually a couple Supertramp albums.
Do you really?
Yeah, the Logical Song, Breakfast in America, to Give a Little Bit, very Goodbye Stranger, Take the Long Way Home. I believe those all came off of the Breakfast in America album.
Let me ask, what was, I'm asking everybody this out there, think about it for a second. What was the very first song that you heard that wasn't part of your parents or family? You know, like growing up, I drove in my car with my parents. We listened to CBS FM. It was a lot of, Bill Haley and the Comets and bands like that. And the very first song I ever heard that completely changed who I was listening to music was a Kiss song. I'd have to zone back and go back and think about the song that actually was. Do you remember the first time you heard a song that wasn't on what your parents were listening to that you said, I'm going to listen to that music now?
I would have to say it was probably, I could tell you the album. I could narrow down the song. Probably Walk This Way from Aerosmith from the Toys in the Attic album, because I ended up getting it somehow, somewhere. I think my friend gave it to me. Nikki Scatino gave it to me on 8-track.
Okay.
My parents had an 8-track, and that was like the first album I had. Of course, an 8-track did you no good. If you left the house.
No, not true. I had my first car had an 8-track player in it.
Well, my first car had an AM radio in it.
Me too.
So I was more than happy to get an AM FM at that point in time when I realized that AM sucked.
Yeah.
And it just, there wasn't much in the way of music on AM. That's one thing. And my mother and father had an 8-track player in their car, but they didn't have much in the way of 8-tracks.
Right.
I had more 8-tracks. I used to buy them at Majors Records.
Oh, Park Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that was the first one I remember, Toys in the Attic. And I mean, still a great album. I still like that album. Probably my favorite Aerosmith album.
Okay.
Without a doubt. But, I don't listen to much Aerosmith as it is. But
no, I'm not a big Aerosmith fan. I have to be honest with you either. In fact, when I was at that State Fair in Florida, they were having a big concert. And there were a bunch of different bands. And then one of them, the end was a Aerosmith cover band, I guess, a tribute band. And they were very good. I mean, we didn't sit down and listen, but as you walked around the fair, you could hear the band play. And they had a few bands on at that point. The first band we walked into was playing War Pigs. So it was that kind of atmosphere. And not many people sitting there listening, but as you walked around, you couldn't help but hear it. And the Aerosmith guys they were really good. I'm not a big Aerosmith fan, to be honest with you. And Frankie, I agree. I'm pretty sure the very first time I ever saw Kiss, and I'm pretty sure it was 1975. I think it was October of 75. Paul Lynde, if you guys remember who know Paul Lynde was the center square on, what's the name of that show?
Yep. What exactly was he famous for? Other than Hollywood Squares.
Yes. Well, he had his own TV show. He had his own TV show for a while. I can't think of the name of it. It might have been the Paul Lynde show for a while. But then, yes, he had that one. He did have the variety show. But for me, it's for that. But Paul Lynde had a variety show, and their Halloween special, October of 1975 for Halloween, where he had Kiss, and Kiss came out and played a couple songs, and that was the moment that everybody else was second, and Kiss became was it for me, and that was it. Again, it could have been any of those songs. I actually have that. I bought his Kiss set a while back, and it has a whole bunch of not only songs, every song from the first, couple dozen albums, but it has a lot of those videos. And one of them was that show, and I went back to watch it. And when I was a kid, that was it for me. The minute I saw that, I became a Kiss fan, and still am. Booty Blues, Ride My Seesaw, that got me hooked on the bands and got all the albums. I saw them live, and then saw them every year. Okay, there you go.
Booty Blues, that was a band. I mean,
yes, I got it too. Yep.
And everything that just reminded me so much of the 70s. And I mean, they never caught on with me. I like some of their songs, but they're definitely, definitely, I don't know, like a progressive band, I guess you could say.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I would say that. By the way, Louis Pica, I did not skip over that. Louis Pica says he can sing a lot of Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck songs. By the way, Burt Bacharach died, I believe, today.
Yeah, but you know 94. What? Listen, you want to hear a good song? Lou Pica may know this one. Look up Crosby, Stills, and Nash with Tom Jones, a song "The Long Way Coming."
We played it on here. We played it on here once.
Oh my goodness, man! Tom Jones had a voice and a half. And a love sausage. That must look like a kibasi when it was unleashed.
Yes, Tom Jones did some splitting. That's for sure. It is. Yeah. He did some wood splitting. That's for sure.
And a fucking 3-pound cock.
Yes, Tom Jones. Louis, I'm telling you, one of these days we're going to get you on the show, and you're going to sing one of those songs on the air because I want to hear you sing it.
Who should come on the show and sing one of those songs?
Absolutely, 100%. So
Leonard Anthony could do a duet.
Can we get him and Leonard Anthony?
With Louis Pica and Leonard Anthony.
Singing Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck songs together.
Frank Sinatra.
There you go. Yeah, so it's interesting. You grow up and you're driving in the car with your parents or you're in the house and you're listening. You wind up listening to stuff that they listen to. And then there's a certain point in the life where you kind of go off the rails. And to me, there you go. It was for Kiss. I went off the rails. Louis says his was the Beatles. Frankie's probably the same as me with the Kiss. I'll sing whatever. We're gonna make that happen, Louis. I'm telling you right now. We'll figure that one out.
Imagine the audience for this. Louis Pica up there singing. Frank Catalano in a fucking Russell Wilson jersey with Kiss makeup on.
And there's pictures of that, by the way. By the way, you know what? If we do a benefit of some type, we got to do where we get some people to show up there and sing some karaoke.
There you go. That you may want to fucking do. Maybe have a karaoke band.
Well, and have people get up there like Louis or Frank or somebody and sing with them. I think that would be a lot of fun. Kind of middle of the night, everybody gets to get 10 people to come up. They can sing any song they want with that band, and I think that's something we'll have to explore if we do that. Did
you see in the pictures from the last show the Ramorons did? There was midget Gene Simmons there.
I did see that. I saw your post. Yes.
Yeah, that was funny shit, man. Oh my God.
Now I happen to be a big fan of the Bee Gees. Not a big Andy Gibb fan, but I was a big Bee Gees fan.
Andy Gibb did more coke than a lot of people.
Yeah, also did Victoria Principal.
So snorted coke off of Victoria Principal cans.
Yeah, there you go. My dad, old school country, growing up in the sticks, the hog, and the corn report in the morning, and Tammy Wynette. Yes, listen, that's just the way it was, and same thing probably for our kids. I mean, my kids were stuck listening to bands like Maiden and Priest. And
oh my God, I want to sing Andy Gibb. Get the fuck out of here!
Oh my God. Hard Rockers Sports, Jeff Tom, and all you guys, thanks for tuning in and sticking around with us. So keep talking to us. Doug Franklin, is Dougie listening? Mr. Cowboy fan. Carrie, how about you? What were you listening to? What was the first band, huh?
Is Doug related to Ben by any chance?
Bend over, maybe. Yes, I have to tell you, the Bee Gees were completely underrated as a harmony group. And the different material they did, great band. I never saw them. Two of them are dead now. I think just Big Barry's the only one left of the brothers. But it's still one of the first albums I ever bought.
Two of them or three of them died?
Two of them dead. Oh, three if you count Andy. I'm sorry, three if you count Andy.
Yeah, and the The two other brothers?
Yeah, Robin and Maurice passed away over a couple of the last few years. And I believe only Barry is still alive at this point.
That means, you know what that
hello,
means?
Doug. There he is, Doug Franklin. He's out there. See? He's saying hello. How you, Doug? So, yeah, guys, we're talking Super Bowl. What do you eat? We're talking about who you watching with. We're also talking about bands. And I'm asking you guys, what was that band that first deviated you from what you listened to? You know, I grew up listening to bands that my parents listened to until I saw Kiss. And after Kiss, I kind of went off the rails, and it went up from there. Who was that band for you guys? What was that band that you kind of left your parents in the back, in the dirt, the dust, and you moved on? If you let us know what you think. Let us know what you're thinking. Hey Jeff, let's change it up a little bit. I want to get back to the Super Bowl, but I want to talk about Michael Irvin. And I don't know if you heard the story, read anything about it this week, but it's a very peculiar situation.
Just real quick, just so you know, we have outlived Maurice Gibb.
Yes,
we've outlived Andy and Maurice.
No, I think Robin's also gone.
Oh, Robin died too, but he's next. He died at 63.
Okay.
And the other one, the remaining one, is still alive.
Barry.
Sir Barry.
Yep, Sir Barry.
And he's like 78. And to answer your question is, who the fuck wants Metallica to play the Super Bowl?
Better than Rihanna. I got to be honest with you. I watched last year's Super Bowl halftime show for about 30 seconds, and it was horrendous.
Don't watch the halftime show, and your life is that much better for it.
Oh, believe me,
Metallica. Come on, man. They have lost their edge. They have lost their edge. I wouldn't want to see them play the halftime show.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know who I would want. I really don't. I'm not even sure if I would stick around for it. I don't know. It's too much. I went to the Super Bowl. I was working for Fox when Kiss was the halftime show. That was fantastic, but they weren't playing. I mean, if anybody thinks Kiss was playing, you're out of your mind. AC/DC would be a decent one, but they're all gone anyway. I mean, maybe now that Brian's back, it's a little better, but they're all gone. I'm not sure who I'd want to play it. I mean, get the Billy Joels of the world or the Elton Johns of the world. Those guys, everybody likes. They're bringing out Rihanna. She looks like she smells. That she just looks like she smells. I don't know.
I don't know. She's fun to look at, I guess.
I can't look at her. I don't know. I can't do it anymore with that. But again, if you're watching the halftime show, good for you. Me, I'll be diving into some wings and Iron Maiden. Yes, I was at that Super Bowl. I was working for Fox, and I got to stand about 3 feet from the members of Kiss. They were very ugly people at the time, so but
still up
and very rude, by the way. But
they were rude.
I've told that story in the air about me trying to get a picture with Ace Frehley and him. Him ignoring me. So I won't bore everybody with the story again. But still one of my favorite bands of all time, and Ace Frehley, I love. I'm torn with Prince. I know the guy was a genius. He just annoyed me. He just annoyed the hell out of me, and I could never get into it. But the guy, I guess you could say he was a genius, and he was talented and all of that, but I don't know. Frank, Dougie, how do you not watch this game? If the Cowboys were playing, you'd be watching. You don't watch a Super Bowl? How do you not watch a Super Bowl? It's like anti-American.
I will always watch it, man. It's just a matter of maybe how long I may watch it for if I don't feel like watching the whole show.
Yeah, it depends on how good the game is. If the game's a good game, you stick around for it. If it's not a good game, you're bailing on it.
Yeah, that's all.
Hopefully it's a good game. I hope the Chiefs win. I can't possibly root for the Eagles, but I'll stick around and watch it and all that good stuff. But I do want to talk about Michael Irvin. So Jeff, did you read the story about Michael Irvin? You're a big ESPN reader, NFL.com guy.
I didn't see that. I saw the story, but I never read it. What happened?
Okay, so the story is that Michael Irvin was accused of basically, I guess, annoying or verbally harassing some woman. And what happened was, so Michael Irvin apparently went out for some drinks, came back in, walked into a hotel, and ran into a woman either in the lobby or in the bar. And I didn't see the video. And he walked over, and I don't believe other than a handshake, there was any other contact. He talked to the woman they counted 45 seconds. I believe they shook hands. He got in the elevator, went to his room, and went to sleep. And the woman but whatever he said to her was so vile and so disgusting, I guess, that she went and complained and to the NFL. The NFL went to ESPN, and he was suspended and sent home.
Wow.
Now, to this point, nobody has said, I have not seen what was said or what accusations are being made, but essentially he insulted this woman somehow in 45 seconds, enough to be suspended, and not only taken off the NFL telecast of the Super Bowl, this whole week, he was asked to leave the state and go home. So I gotta tell you, I'm no Michael Irvin fan, and the guy's was a low life and all that stuff, but I am dying to know exactly what he said that was so bad that this woman had to go and tell somebody, and they had to basically suspend him, and possibly, who knows, he could get fired for this, for all we know.
Yeah, well, you don't know what he said, and then that's just it. Andrew, Adam, you don't know what he said, and listen, there's some very colorful things that could be said in 45 seconds. You don't know what this guy fucking might have said.
Well, again, that's the life. That's the lifetime we're living in, folks. And now, again, nobody should be harassed if he said the wrong thing to her. Shouldn't be. You should never be rude or anything to anybody, woman or other. But I got to know what was said, because it was that bad. I want to know.
Sure, because I want to make sure that I don't say it to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to leave the state I live in. I got too much going on here.
That's very true. It's very true. A lot of Ramoran shows and all that stuff coming up. So, and of course, we got the Hard Rocket Sports Show. We'll be back next Thursday. We do this all over again, Jeff and I. And of course, this Saturday morning, tune in for the Sunday Audible Super Bowl show, where Jeff, John, and myself get together. We'll break down the Super Bowl, go through some of the prop bets, and we'll give you our picks. Well, although Jeff and I will pick it up tonight for you for sure. I have not my own in time, I am sure, but let's send them home out of state. Yep, that's the truth, Adam. That's what they did. Some good news, Jeff. The NFL Players Association medical director has stated emphatically that Damar Hamlin will play football again.
Well, good. When he's ready, cool. If he's good, then he should go.
I agree. I see. To me, this isn't something that was genetic or some sort of disease that he had. This is something that was just let's call it a tragic accident that would probably never, ever even remotely happen again to anybody, let alone him for a second time. And I would love to see him get back on the field and play again.
Well, listen, that's a decision that only he should be able to make.
I agree. And I imagine a 24-year-old young man who's in probably some of the best shape anybody could be in. I'll almost guarantee he'll be back there. I don't know if it's next year or the year after, but I'll bet you he'll get back on the field. And I will tell you, everybody will be watching. Everybody will be paying attention when that young man hits the field. Whether he's any good or not, it won't matter. Everybody will be paying attention to that one.
We will find out, man. Time will let us know. I'm sure with the battery of tests that he's going to be under before he steps foot on the field. And not only that, but if you're a team that's signing him, do you make him get an insurance waiver?
Well, that's a great question. That is the question. If your team's, if you're the Buffalo Bills, who he still plays for, that's a great question. I would think the batteries of tests. I don't know. I don't know if you can. I mean, I'm sure these guys already do sign a bunch of stuff. So that's a very, very interesting question to ask. I don't know the answer to that, Jeff.
Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, something like that. I would imagine that there can't be a certain thing. Money can't be guaranteed, and God only knows, man. The guy's already coming in there with some issues.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But I guess if he gets a clean battery, health, it can happen to any of these guys off the field, on the field. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I just thought that was a nice bright spot to see the young man getting back out there to do his thing. Real quick, I watched the Pro Bowl this weekend. I know you probably didn't.
No.
It was interesting. I will tell you, it's kind of like the hockey skills competition or the NFL's, the NBA's. It was interesting. I wouldn't say I would run to it, but I wouldn't run from it like the Pro Bowl itself. It was points per each different event, and the NFC coached by the legendary Eli Manning won the event. So I want to congratulate
if
Eli.
That doesn't go to tell you how far this is stooped in the low column.
Yes.
I don't know. Come on.
Yeah, I know you were there, Dougie, and I kind of enjoyed it. I wasn't crazy about the flag football game. If you're gonna do a little bit better. I don't like the fact they broke it to 3 games. Play one long game, and you mix guys in. I would have liked to have seen them mix in some legends. I think they could have opened it up and made it even better. But overall, it was better than the regular Pro Bowl. I'm sure it did well. Nobody had anything else to watch. They did over 2 different days, Friday night and Sunday, and it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it better than the Pro Bowl, but not something, Jeff, I would run to see.
No, I couldn't care less if I see any of these All-Star.
No, I agree with you. I enjoyed the skills competitions. I watched a little bit of the hockey one on was it Saturday night? No, I think it was also Friday night. They had I love that fastest skater and the hardest shots and all that stuff. It was pretty cool. I went to one back in '98, which was pretty cool to go to. So
didn't Myles Garrett end up getting hurt or something?
I do not see that anywhere. When I was watching, I did not notice anybody getting hurt. So, but it was fun. It was in Vegas. Lots of again, the guys asking questions are just dumb nowadays. It's not funny. It's just retarded. But then again, it was fun. And Eli and Peyton, they have such great personalities, and they do have such a fun job abusing each other that it was worth it to watch. So. Doug, you look like it was a great time. To be honest with you, if they do it next year, I would really give consideration to going out to it to be part of that whole thing because it looked like it was a fun time.
You know what I don't like?
Adam, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in, brother. We'll see you next week.
Be good, man.
Got you, pal. Yeah, Jeff.
The one thing that I don't like about Eli and Peyton, it's just that they're bringing this brother rivalry, it seems.
Yep.
Into it but they're doing it like it's totally scripted and they're doing it like they're making them look stupid.
Okay, I get it. Like
Gronk, but I think Gronk isn't that far of a stretch, to be honest with you. But it's still I just don't like that kind of portrayal.
Okay, I got you.
Not that I give a fuck how they are portrayed.
Yeah,
it's just don't try to sell it to us that way. That's pretty much where I'm getting at.
Okay, understood. I can get that point. I get it. I find some of it funny, some of it gets a little old. But I thought they did a nice job for the game and for the weekend. Eli's team comes out by winning 2. I think they won 2 out of the 3 flag football games, so they wound up coming out on top. It was interesting to watch, and again, better than the regular Pro Bowl, which I haven't watched in 30 years. So pretty cool. It was in Vegas. Dougie, who was there, Doug Franklin was there, says it was a good time and Beasley priced tickets. So who knows? Maybe next year I'll go out to Vegas and spend a weekend and get to watch a little bit of the fun. Jeff, we got a few more minutes to talk about. I just want to make sure I got everything in there. Remember, guys, tonight is the NFL Honors. Brian Daboll from the Giants should become NFL Coach of the Year.
Oh, God.
His job with the Giants this year to turn around. Not only making the playoffs, but winning a game and getting to within 2 games of the Super Bowl. So good job. Brian Daboll will be the NFL Coach of the Year. We'll find out who the MVP is, Offensive Player of the Year. The Jets should have the Defensive Rookie of the Year, I would imagine. I would believe Sauce Gardner will win that. And there's probably a good night. Hey, Takari, have a great night. Of course, we were hoping that when they announce at some point, I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, they announce the Hall of Fame inductees. I think it's tonight. I
think it's tomorrow.
I thought it was tonight, but you're probably right. We hope to see Joe Klecko for sure get ready to be handed a gold jacket next August. So we'll see. It's going to be lots of talk, lots of fun of football. A lot of football tomorrow and the rest of the weekend, and of course, culminating with Sunday night's big game that Jeff and I. Jeff, I think I already did. I picked the Eagles to win this game. I'm going to say 31-28. I believe this will be a close game. Send him, Dougie. I always love to hear some of that stuff. What's your thoughts on this game, Jeff?
I'm hoping that the Chiefs win. To be honest with you, I just hope we get a good game out of it. That's my hope every year. That you don't want to see a slow, dragging game.
Yeah,
we get a good game with a lot of exciting play. I wouldn't mind leaning towards a more high-scoring game than a low-scoring game.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that the Chiefs win. I don't like Philly. Yeah. I just don't like them. I don't like the teams from Philly. And I'd rather see Mahomes and Kansas City win. Maybe a different dynasty.
Yeah, again, listen, Mahomes is still a young guy. Obviously, he's already won one. He's played in another. Back for his third already. I mean, he's headed that way. I'll give him credit. I mean, it's very hard to get to, and three Super Bowls in 4 or 5 years is a pretty good accomplishment. But he's got a long way to go to being considered the GOAT. So we'll see how it goes. But I think we're both going to be picking the Chiefs.
Until he starts winning, though, he's just going to be the new LeBron in a different sport.
It's a good way to put it. It's a really good way to put it. You're 100% right. Yeah,
you got to start winning.
Yeah, you got to win. You got to win these games. And unfortunately, it comes with the territory, Jeff. Nobody's ever going to say, that the offensive tackle, has lost 5 Super Bowls. Nobody's going to care that he's been in 5 Super Bowls. When you're the face of the franchise, when you're the quarterback, when you're making $50 million a year, and you don't win, if he loses this one, I gotta be honest with you, it's going to be start to hang over his head a little bit.
Well, yeah,
somewhat,
but there's plenty of reasons why that you could make. They lost Travis Kelce this year. They
Tyreek Hill,
wasn't it? What's that?
Tyreek Hill, they lost this year.
Tyreek Hill, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting his name. He could be sitting right next door to me. And
see you, Dougie.
Fuck up his name. See you later, man. Also, didn't he have like a bum running game this year too?
Well, no, it wasn't too bad. Pacheco was okay. Again, they scored points this year, so it's not like they've exceeded expectations. I thought they would take a step back when Tyreek Hill was traded, and they've done the opposite. They were number 1 seed. They basically went wire to wire. He had a great season, and I fully expect them to be better. I honestly think that their coaching staff is better, but they run the ball well enough. The defense is good enough. Chris Jones, they have some good players out there. So this is going to be a good football game, I believe. I honestly believe if it's going to be a blowout, the blowout's going to happen. Chiefs over the Eagles. I don't believe that the Eagles are going to blow out the Chiefs. I think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. But I think I'm going to stick with Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo in this one. I think they're going to come up with a really big game plan, and they're going to confuse Jalen Hurts, and they're going to force him to be the star. And I don't think he's capable or healthy enough to be that star this year. So that's why I'm going to be picking the Chiefs, Jeff.
Listen, we're about 72 hours away.
That's it. Yeah, we're close. Now we've pretty much run. The one thing I wanted to bring up before we shut this down, Jeff, there's been a lot of chatter about playing the AFC and NFC championship games on neutral sites. Some people say, one weekend, 2 games in the same stadium, Saturday and Sunday. Some people say you split them up, maybe one in Vegas, one in another stadium. I got to be honest with you. I don't like the idea.
What is the point behind the idea?
Well, see, this year they were talking about having to play the game in a neutral site because of the missed game. So they were going to play. I think it was in Atlanta. I think had the Bills and the Bengals gotten to the Super Bowl or got to the AFC Championship game, they were going to play that game in a neutral site. But because the Chiefs were the number 1 seed, they were the home team. So, but if it got to the AFC Championship game a different way, they were going to play at a neutral site, and the NFL got excited about it because they felt like they could make more money at a neutral site game than they could at a team's home game.
even at that, how much extra money are they going to make?
Jeff, they turn these things into events. Now, I don't like it because I think it's the incentive for teams to finish number one so they get home field throughout the playoffs. And I think that's important. And I think it's a great carrot for these teams to go for and not kind of, not care at the end of the season whether they're number one or number two. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, I think at some point the NFL's got to stop trying to maximize every single dollar and not break what's already well built. You know what I mean?
It's not that they're trying to maximize, it's they're trying to capitalize on every dollar to be made. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make as much as possible. But like I said, that's why I would want to know how much extra could you possibly be making?
Don't know, Jeff. I don't know how you do now. If you think about it, how big an event it would be if you had those two games in the same stadium the same weekend. That town would be overrun with people. It would be bigger almost than the Super Bowl.
It would definitely be bigger than the Super Bowl. You have 4 teams. Imagine fans from all 4 teams going.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, I could see maybe having like if you're putting people in the stadium to watch the game.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get a stadium that you could put people outside, let people watch it from their cars, have a big jumbotron or something.
I'm sure it would. Yeah, I'm sure you would have to do something like that. Sure, absolutely.
That's one way, but I mean, just to keep the same crowd in there, what's the point? They're only going to be able to, do so much.
Yeah, I agree. Well, to me, you do one, game on Saturday, or one game on Saturday, full stadium. Game's over, everybody goes home, come back the next day, new, same stadium. All new fans. To me, it's a huge event. Obviously, if you're lucky enough to be the stadium to get that event, well, think about it. So if you're the NFL, you say, all right, guys, you're going to pay for the rights to that game, $5 million, $10 million, $50 million. Think about it. You're selling out 80,000 seats 2 days in a row, concessions, advertisement. You know how much money that stadium could draw from that? And the NFL just says, give me $25 million and it's your game.
Yeah, but you still think about that.
Go ahead.
Okay, certain towns, there's not going to be
100%
a crowd, so you can't just pick any place.
No, I agree with you. You got to be able to handle You're right.
It's that one. You're going to need a big stadium. You're going to need big parking. You're going to need hotels. You're going to need a lot of stuff.
Any stadium that can hold the Super Bowl could do it, because don't forget you're doing it on 2 separate days, so it's not like you're getting 160,000 fans.
To do it at a Super Bowl site.
Again, I would agree with you. You probably have to do it at a stadium that's got indoors or really nice weather, like Phoenix, like they're doing this weekend at the Super Bowl in Arizona.
I'm just not a fan of the idea. I don't.
I agree. I think you want to leave the incentive to the teams to have a great season and be the number 1 seed, so they play those kind of games in their house. But you're also making it. Think about the advantage that the Kansas City Chiefs had over the Bengals because how loud the stadiums were. So you do reduce that by playing in a neutral site, because you're going to get more fans, being more equal than you would if it's in somebody's backyard. So there are some pluses to it. I don't like it. I would say no.
I disagree with that. I don't think that you're going to get as many hardcore fans as you think that you're going to get.
I agree with you. At a neutral site, I agree.
Fans, that's what you're going to get.
Huh? Yes.
A lot of corporate fans.
100%. I agree 100%.
I hope the blue team wins.
Yeah, again, that's why Super Bowls are usually not the most exciting games, because a lot of times, like I don't know if you're going to get a big Eagles Kansas City. I heard the tickets 2 days ago were $5,000 for getting seats. I believe they've dropped to $3,000 because the demand hasn't been great, and people think that because the Eagles got in a couple 5 years ago, and the Chiefs were back a couple years ago, that their fans aren't really running to get to this game.
I don't see that. I don't think it's going to be a moneymaker. I just don't see it. I think you're better off leaving it as is.
I couldn't agree with you more, but the NFL. So there is some talk about the AFC NFC Championship games being played at neutral site. Now, the most talk has been about splitting them up, one in one city, one in another city. Just neutral sites. But I've also heard let's put them in one place 2 days and have a huge weekend, which honestly, truly would be almost, or if not bigger than the Super Bowl. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get there, Jeff. Hopefully it doesn't get there.
No, I don't hope not.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Jeff's got another long day tomorrow. So do I. And, of course, we'll be back on Saturday morning with the Sunday Audible. So tune in for that Super Bowl show as we bring the Super Bowl weekend for us to a close. And then, of course, we'll be back here next week talking about the game itself, the commercials, and all the other things that go along with it. We'll find out what you guys ate and drank and who you hung out with and what you thought of everything, including the Super Bowl halftime show. So, Jeff, I know you got a lot of shows coming up. One more time, tell everybody where the Remorons are going to be, the reemergence of Jeff and 25 Missions. Tell everybody what's going on.
March 18th at Lily Reds for the Donnie Tranchina birthday bash. March 25th at Big Nose Kate's with the Johnny Collins trio, whatever they're called, Johnny Collins Band.
Johnny Collins Band.
25 Missions and the Remorons, and then again at April 29th at Mother Pugs.
There you go. The Remorons are
getting busy.
Yep, setting Staten Island ablaze. So make sure you check out the band. I saw they did a great job. I'm going to try to make one of those shows. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'll try to get out to at least one of them to the island to see my boy and his band play. So make sure we'll keep you updated on all the start times, and just make sure you go to see anytime the Johnny Collins Band's playing. Make sure you pack a lunch. So those guys will play all night long if they can. So
yeah,
Johnny's not shy about singing, and they will play any request, even whether they know it or not. So
yes, they will.
So, but that's a fun bunch of guys, and Johnny's a great guy. And of course, check out Jeff and the Remorons when you can. They did a great job on opening night. Just you show up there. There's midgets. There's all sorts of freak shows running around when you go see the Remorons. So make sure you check them out, and they're available for private parties. So make sure you reach out to the guys if you're looking for a private party with and having a fun band. That's your guy. So Hefe, I'll give you the last word of the night, and then we'll wrap this up. You got anything you want to add?
Just see you Saturday morning, man.
All right, guys, make sure you get out there. All you metalheads, go out there and rock the vote and vote for Iron Maiden. Let's get the Iron Maiden in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And enjoy your Super Bowl, guys. Go Chiefs. And we'll be back with next week. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us for a couple hours. A lot of fun. We're seeing you all. Have a great night, a great weekend, and a great week. And we'll see you back here next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody, have a nice night, guys. Definitely, I'll talk to you off the air.
Later, man.
Later.